guys, I think you've waited long enough. I haven't done a knife in a long time. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to revisit the motorcycle chain forge welding and turn this into a knife. And I've had many requests to do a Karambit. I think that's how you say it. So a fighting knife like that. I'm not sure how hard this chain really is for a blade. And I'm not certain if you look really close. Well, it's hard to see. On this side you might see better. Focus. Some of my welds aren't totally, you can see those lines there. Alright, aren't totally, I'm not happy with them. So I'd want to re-weld this anyway. So what I've decided to do is to experiment while we're doing this. I got myself a little A2. I've never worked with A2, air hardening. What we're going to do is I'm going to nip off the bad ends on this piece, and I'm going to cut this in half, and then I'll put this piece of A2. It's not a very thick piece, but at least it's something, and we'll forge weld that in between, bring it all together. I'm afraid I'm going to lose what's left of the links by the time I crush this into a forge weld, but it's what I'm going to do. That's the plan. So stay tuned. Hopefully we end up with some type of Karambit or a crazy unsuccessful forge weld and ruining the motorcycle chain. We can do it again, I guess. Alright, stay tuned, let me cut this up. See, I just cut off one end of this thing, and this son of a gun cut really hard. And I'm wondering, I'm not sure what kind of steel they use in a motorcycle chain, but looking at that cut, I mean, that's a nice solid piece of steel inside there. So I think what I'm going to do once I cut the other end off is I'm going to go ahead and just grind this down a little bit to get rid of some of those fissures. Alright, and that way I'm thinking I got a better chance of having a clean weld. So I think we're solid on the inside. If I had a little more steel here, I'd just make the knife out of this, because that freaking cut hard. Alright, I'll be back. What I have here is I cleaned off the inside. Where am I? Down here now. Cleaned off the inside of the chain, cut that in half. I decided to put two pieces of the 01 in here just to give me a little extra steel. I don't think it should affect anything. I'm going to go ahead and sandwich this together. And then we'll weld a little handle on it, close off the ends, and turn it into a little billet. Just a little billet. Guess you gotta be grounded, huh? And we'll just tack up the end here a little bit. See what that gives us. They sure do look like a little dinky billet. But we'll weld it up, we'll get her in the fire, we'll bring up the temperature. Hopefully my handle stays on. I've always had handles breaking off, but I don't think that's an uncommon thing. Let's get to the forge. Those of you that have watched me forge weld before, I like to do at least 3 welds on it. The first one is just the stick, the second one is really to go to town, and the third one is to finish up if you need anything finished up. What I'm doing now is I'm heating this billet up. I'll go ahead and flux it with borax. In the motorcycle chain video, people say, why didn't you use flux? Why didn't you use flux? I did. I just didn't show you. So we'll go ahead and get this thing heated up a little hotter than that. And we'll borax it up. Good enough for fluxing, especially right down the edges. We want that stuff to try to work its way in if we can. At the same time, any fissures around the outside of this, I want to forge weld too. So we'll just flux the living daylights out of it. can see that flux turning into a glass. Go back into the fire. Bring her up to our first forge welding temperature. Now, even though this piece isn't the biggest piece in the world, it's still a pretty thick piece of steel, so I'm letting it come up to a forge welding temperature slowly. I'm not really kicking the air on it any more than I need to, and because I want to make sure that core inside is just as hot as the outside. So I'm turning it, and we'll bring it up a little slower than I would a thinner piece. Just starting to see some sparks flying off this. I'm going to come over quick. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm using my light hammer. Very quick hits. This is the technique that I use. I don't want to freaking pound. I don't want a lot of force. I want to just quick hits. Get that thing stuck together as quickly as possible. And hopefully, I mean, it looks good already. I think it does anyway. So we'll clean it up. We're going to reflux it. I don't know where you're looking at my trash can. There we go. You can try to get it back in the fire as quickly as possible. So that was the stick weld. I think that went well. So the next thing I'm going to do is we'll go ahead and put some force on it. I'll jump up to the 3-pound hammer and see if we can get that thing totally welded. I like the way that one looked. About there. Oh man, I keep missing on a weld. I don't think that looks too bad. I don't see a line in there. I don't see a line in there. I think we're doing well. I like it. Shouldn't start anything on fire. Oh, the sparks are flying. Alright, we're going to flux it up one more time. Just to be sure. And then we'll start shaping the knife. Looking good, looking good. Where we want to be. At this point, we are as welded as we're going to be. So now we can start working this out. Bit of a trapezoid going on here. Let's fix that right now. Alright, one more look to make sure we didn't start anything on fire in our close quarters here. I don't see anything burning. Safety somewhere in the top 10 anyway. Especially, I don't want to go look in the shop. Alright, so there's our billet. Let's just kind of keep it warm for now. And let's work out a design. We don't know there was a delay. There was a delay. I had to shed 2 layers, man. Warming up in the old cold shop today. Glasses so I can see what you can see. Alright, so I don't know where to stand to do this. I hate when I'm doing these shots. Let's try it here. Karambit, Karambit. Never made one before. I know we got some type of curved blade. pointy, comes up to a curved handle, something like that, and then usually some type of thumb hold in there, something like that. Edge on that side, and very often an edge on this side. Fighting knife, both directions. Now, I don't particularly like to make knives that are only meant to injure people, but it's a request, so we're going to do it anyway. Whoever buys this knife better damn well not do anything wrong with it. That's all I got to say. This world doesn't need any troubles. So, looking at that and the piece of steel we have, we got to figure out how to turn that into this. Alright, very thin, I mean 1/8 inch probably, handle here, maybe 1/4 inch at the thickest at the blade, tapering right down to a point. We need to leave enough steel on the end for us to flatten out that round. Again, I've never made one of these before, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I think we'll try to bring this thing all the way down to a 1/4 inch thick, and then we'll start putting the curve into it and taper that point, and then that'll allow me to play with how much handle I get out of the thing. So let's take this, and again, we got to make sure we don't forget our orientation, right? This is our A2 steel here in the middle, right down through there. So we'll taper it down to a 1/4 inch and go from there. See how close we come to about that size. A little small on the handle, I wouldn't mind getting a little bigger. Let me explain in case this is you guys are questioning. I have tape on both of my thumbs. I did not injure my thumbs. They cracked right down the freaking middle on them. You know, from dry skin. If you look at my hands, they're you know, pretty rough shape. Also, the darkness of my hands. I was cutting lumber yesterday and hauling wet logs, and with a pair of black gloves on, they were soaked in the dye from the gloves just dyed my hands black, so they won't come off. So no questions about that. Didn't hurt myself, not intentionally anyway. Dry skin, I guess. You need some lotion, blacksmith lotion. Ooh, new product. Alrighty. Again, this is the blade, so we're gonna go ahead and just taper that off. Might as well just go right over the horn, stretch this thing out. You see this little doohickey here on the end. Can you see it or not? Is it too? Yeah, somebody was yelling about my filters too. That's just the weld coming off, the end weld, so that'll come off clean when we get done with it. But start working that out. Getting there. I don't know why I'm using my 3-pounder. I should be a man. Pull out the 4-pounder. Or a woman. This is a good example where a power hammer would be a good investment. I'll tell you. 4-pound hammer's doing the job. It's doing the job just right. I almost hate to work these edges because if I delaminate, that's where it's going to be. But we better keep an eye on it. think we'll be okay. We'll keep going a little thinner. That's about a quarter. That's way too thick. We're going for an eighth now. Okey-dokey, smoky. I hope, well, I can see, I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? You can actually see some of that chain pattern in there. Hope that's a good thing. And it's not all just delamination going on. That would suck. We failed before, we can fail again. I don't want it to be this one though. Alright, out of fear, I know I've never seen anybody do this, so chances are it doesn't do you any good anyway. I'm going to clean this off and flux it. I'm going to bring it up to a welding temperature again and just gently work those edges a little bit. Just kind of scares me a little. And again, with all the work I put into getting the chain welded in the first place, and now this work, if there's anything I can do to help it, I'm going to try it. Just scares me a little. Okay, I'm just going to do it one more time, just in case I can save any fractures. And as much as I know I haven't been getting back to your comments, I have been reading them. I'll have a forward side chat coming soon about what the hell's going on in my world. I'm certainly not where I want to be as far as keeping track of things. But if you know that this is a stupid move, go ahead and tell me. I don't mind learning. We're probably going to learn together right now, though. It's this time. Hopefully, any issues I was having are now gone. I hope. As much as I hope. I'm sweating today, children. Sweating today. Alright, so now let's work on size here. This is where my ring's going to be, so don't mind that being a little bigger. Handle here and knife there, so we need to, I think, oh boy, I wish I knew what I was doing. All of this has to go bye-bye on the end. That's not a good piece of steel there, so I'm going to go to the grinder and cut that off. I'm not going to hot cut it, just I want to know where it's being cut. And then we'll go ahead from there to there will be my blade, and from there to there will be my handle, I hope, and we'll have enough steel. Some commitments here. I'm going to commit to that blade being right about, boy, I hope I got enough there. And that'll be 10. I hope. I hope we're making the right choice. Doesn't look too bad to me. I'm going to stretch that tang out a little bit. See if I can be happy with that, and then I think what I need to do, and again, I've never done this, I actually haven't watched the video of it, so I'm doing this, I guess, by golly. I'm going to put that curve into the blade before I start the taper. Taper's going to straighten it, and I'm going to keep curving it. It's going to keep working back and forth. Hopefully by the time I get done, I'll have the curve and the taper at the same time. That's the plan. Get on that tang a little bit. Come on, come over here. Like the length that I'm getting some delamination here on this tank. I think that's delamination on the edges. I don't know. See, it looks wacky there, but I'm liking that. Go ahead and grab that hot piece of steel. So your pinky's going to go in this hole, right? So I think we're close there. By the time I get that back out to the right width or thickness, I think we'll be in good shape. We tang a little bit more here. Start cleaning this steel now. Shouldn't be working it so dirty. We're getting close to where we want to be at the end here, so I don't want that crap going into that steel. Shake it. And you see that delamination happening right there. If that happens up here on the blade, we are screwed. A screwedage. Alright, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put a bit of a curve into that. Actually, I'll curve. I don't know what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to stretch this blade out, and then once it's stretched to the point where I like it, then I'll go ahead and put the curve in. There, pick up everything. Yeah, you're recording. I'm thinking I might want to normalize this blade. After all the abuse we put under forge welding, I'm thinking I want to do that. But I'm so afraid of it coming apart on me here. So what I'm doing is I'm working that point, but I'm also working it from the inside here. And you can see it's putting a bit of a curve in there, which is what I want when I get done. I'm telling you, I'm so afraid of it right now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to normalize this a couple of times. Give me a break, and just hopefully anything inside that blade will relax enough so I don't have any issues. I'm really scared about, and it could be just rollover, but I'm not sure. Alright, one of the normalizations, this is the second one. Hopefully the knife appreciates the extra attention it's getting and will cooperate all the way to the end. Respect the steel, or it'll F you over. Alright, just bringing this thing back up to heat. And we will start working on that point. Let's see how we make out. keep going on it. So far, I'm not terribly disappointed. You see me there? Just starting to put a little bevel on it. Frankly, I'm okay using the grinder on this one. It concerns me, but we'll bevel it a little. You have to keep your steel as clean as you should, especially when you're coming to the end. A little trick that I try to do, I don't always remember, is when it goes in the fire, the wire brush comes up, so I know that it's there. When I take it out, the wire brush is already on my mind. So. This thing down to a more of a point. Got a little delamination going on there. So we're going to take care of that before it gets into anything bigger. Point is going to come down with the grinder. So I got a bit of goofiness going on here, so I don't want anything past this point here. I'm not going to plan to use. You know, maybe I suck, maybe I don't, but we gotta make the most of what we got, I guess. As much as I'd like to see this forged right into its final shape, I'm not exactly sure that this knife lends itself to that on account of the curve. So we'll forge thick and grind thin. That's the plan, Stan. So again, if you imagine this being ground down this way, I think we're okay. I'm going to go ahead and clean it up a little, and then we're going to pop a hole in the back here for the thumb ring, drift that out, and then we'll take it to the grinder. I'm seeing texture and stuff on the surface that I don't think is scale. So I'm about 70% confident now in this project. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. We're gonna find out though pretty soon. Alright, now I switched to the 2-pound hammer, the lighter hammer. What I'm trying to do now is just clean things up. Oops, I don't want that over there. Get rid of some hammer marks so grinding's a little easier. Just see a lot of stuff happening and I'm not happy with, but you never know. It's not done till the fat lady sings. All right, so I'm a little thick here for this ring. I'm gonna come back, heat that. I'm gonna get that a little thinner. We'll go ahead and throw a punch through there and drift it out, and that'll be it. All right, let's try to shape this a little bit if we can. I don't want to get much thinner right there. I'm okay with that. I think we can clean the rest up on the grinder. I'd like to get a hole punched in it now. Think about getting a plug in here somewhere close to that location. Hot little son of a bitch. We can see what we were doing there and get it to punch out. Sounds good. Close. I hate to do it over the Hardy, but I think I have to. Come on, get in there. Plug just doesn't want to go. Heat her up again. Sons of bitches. Freaking goes this time. Must have been off on my plug a little. Drift that out a little bit. Oh boy. We got some delamination occurring right there at that spot, that's for sure. Oh, I hope that's not what's going to happen for this whole freaking knife. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, I'm not happy with that at all. Fudge-a-dudge. Well, you know what? If we fail, we freaking fail. So I already got delamination there. I don't think there's a thing you can do about it. I see it actually splitting all the way up through to here, but I could be wrong. I'm going to heat it and flux it and see if I can get that thing to come back together. I don't think there's any way it will. No. I don't think this is going to work, but at this point we got nothing to lose. I'm good. Come on back. Alrighty. Guys, I don't know, man. I don't know if we welded or not. It looks like we did, but we're pretty damn ugly looking right now. Let's just drift the friggin' thing out. If it fails, it fails. Hey, you know, it's part of the game. I'm not 100% confident in it, but what I think what the problem was when I did my billet, you know, this is where I was way out here when I welded the handle on, and this did not get the attention that it needed during the forge weld because it's out on the end of the billet, and it's just, I think it's just going to continue right up through the handle, but we'll see what happens. I'm just going to go for one more forge weld in this section. Alright, we'll just deal with it. That's all we can do. That's all we can do is deal with it now. You dumbasses. I'm going to be stupid enough to go ahead and try to drift it out. On top of all the other stupid things we're going to do, I'm going to put this over my little swage I made so that I'm not, at least there's some support for the steel as I drive this through. Yeah, we're delaminated. We are de-fucking laminated. Alright. Well, we're going to accept that failure, but we're going to keep going. Put the drift through one more time. Sons of bitches, people. Now, I'll tell you, if it was something I was trying to make for myself at this point, I'd just go ahead and I'd weld the living crap out of that section and rework it, but this is just going to be one for the showroom, I guess. That freaking motorcycle chain, all that work, oh my god. But that's it, man, that's how you learn. That's how you freaking learn. So I'm going to come back through this way now, just to get it out there. Don't break on me. That's enough. That's enough. Who knows? If you grind it up, it won't look so bad. God dang it to hell. Alright, let's get it straight. Straight in line with that tang. I don't know, the blade seems much better than the rest of it, so hopefully we're okay. I don't know, it looks pretty shitty. It really does look bad, guys. Live and learn. Alright, I mean, look at all this shit up here. Oh boy, oh boy. We'll do a normalization. I don't know why. And we'll hit the grinder. The ugliest god blessed thing I've ever seen. It's just horrible. Complete total failure. But I've never where am I? I don't think I've ever done a curved blade. So I'm going to continue with it. I mean, it sucks because everything else is kind of working on it, you know what I mean? But practice now. This is going to be a practice piece. Let's go to the grinder. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and give it a basic shape now. and get rid of all this crap around the outside. We'll see what it looks like then. Alright, so there's the little more than rough grind on it. So I want to do something here to clean this up, and I want to do something in these grooves here to clean this up. So it's too bad the freaking thing, where am I? It's too bad, because it's not a bad looking knife, it really isn't. But we're going to clean these two edges up, and then we'll go ahead and harden it. Now this is air hardening A2 in the center supposedly, so hopefully we just bring it up to temperature and let our air harden. Alright, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's the rough grind. Let's go ahead and heat treat this thing. Heat treat it since my forge is out. I'm going to go ahead and use the what the heck is this thing again? A Devil Forge propane forge. Just to mix it up a little. Oh, I gotta turn on my gas. See, take you out of here. Alright, so for A2 they said to bring it up to 1750 to 1775 and let it air cool. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to guess at the number. I'm assuming that that's somewhere near critical on this particular steel. I should look that up, but you know, at this point the whole freaking thing is a failure. So why don't I just get in your face? Sorry. God, what a day. Some days are good, some days are bad. Today's a freaking bad day. But we're going to bring that up, we'll let it air cool. We'll throw a file on it and see what happens. Alright, there she is. We're just going to let her cool down. But I got complete delamination right up the center. Yeah, we got some big ass troubles. So what's going to happen is I'm going to let this thing cool. We'll put a file to it and see if, you know, we can learn something about hardening A2 anyway, or at least I can. I've never used it. I'll put a freaking edge on it. We'll do some cut tests with the thing, and then we'll go ahead and we'll do a destructive test on this sucker. It's no good to nobody except for maybe a souvenir from old school forges failure. But I mean, you can, if you look right by the ricasso, you can see a delamination there. Oh man, I'm telling you, I just don't know. What a complete and utter failure. But hopefully this video is worth something to you. I'll have to cut it, I'll have to keep it short so at least you didn't waste too much time. We'll let this sucker cool and we'll go from there. Oh, we gotta etch it. I want to see what that pattern looks like too. Cool down. I don't know for sure. My first working with A1, but it's skating right across here. In here it's biting a little bit, but I'm not down to the total edge there, so I'm not exactly sure what kind of edge I got, but I mean that's good right there. So let me clean it up, we'll come back, we'll do some testing. What is it? Karambit. Make a karambit. Make a karambit. Karambit, whatever it is. Holy Christ. Here it is, guys. You're not going to ask me to make another one very soon, and I'm not going to because I suck at it. This is something you need to know a lot more than I did. When I got the basic shape, the forging, as far as the shape and all that part, that worked well. I'm very pleased with the look of it. Don't have a very good edge. All right, I'm not getting a really sharp edge out of it. I don't know whether that's my grinding or anything else that's there. Of course, the complete failure is the delamination of the forge weld. But let me throw it in the etch. We got it cleaned up. We're going to throw it in the etch. At least let's learn what the pattern is, and then I'll decide whether or not I'm just going to destroy this knife, or maybe I'll just give it away to somebody. Or maybe somebody would mind buying a piece of shit from Chandler. All right, I'll be back. Yeah, some days, including this one, started off and I might as well just stay home, for crying out loud. But here we have our ferric acid. I'm not sure the whole thing's going to fit in there, but we're going to get that far anyway. We'll let it sit for 10 minutes, see what it looks like, and go from there. Hopefully we get something that's pretty as far as a pattern goes, since we got nothing out of the actual product. I don't know if I said it already, but today was a day to stay home, I guess. But this is a horrible, horrible result, because look at that friggin' knife. It's freaking beautiful looking, right? You can actually, that's one of the links, right? The inner part of the link, the dark from the old etch was the inner part of the link. You can see this is a link that's stretched out there. It's just freaking, I mean, it's just beautiful. It really is. I had a hard time sharpening it, but I got it sharp enough to cut paper anyway. Not great. It's certainly not razor sharp. Cutting, putting an edge on an inside curve, I suck at. Well, I don't suck, but I'm not very good at it, that's for sure. I mean, she's sharp. She'll cut you. She will cut. But, I mean, let's see if we can get a good focus on this. I mean, this is just freaking unbelievable. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful looking knife. It's very sad. Look carefully. Delamination. You see it? All the way up. All right. Look closely. All the way up. You can actually see it right here. And I'm half tempted just to pry this thing apart and see how far it goes, but God, if it, you know, I don't know. I certainly won't put it up for sale. But I've gotten rid of failures through you guys before. If anybody wants this piece of crap, actually it's not a piece of crap, it's a pretty cool looking thing. I mean, we can clean up, you know, wrap, you know what you could do? You could wrap the handle, all right, and wrap this ring with leather, and it wouldn't be a bad freaking knife. I don't think I'd be prying anybody's car doors open with it, but I think it'll cut. I mean, it's not, you think about it, it's a fighting knife. It's not made to be chopping wood or anything like that. It's made to cut flesh. Here, let me show you. Yeah, right. I don't know. Leave some comments. I won't do a destructive test on it because obviously it's freaked up. If somebody wants it, shoot me off an email at chandlerstore@mindspring.com. Give me an offer on it, and I might keep it just to show the pattern. Come on, focus up there. In my store. But if somebody makes me an offer, I can't refuse them. The heck with it. You know, we're all in this thing for money. I'm not in it for money, but I need money big time. So somebody asked me to make a karambit. This is karambit. This is my very first attempt. The forging, the shape, I probably could have put a little bit more curve on it, but I think it worked. I think I got the forging part down. The dang forge welding. It just delaminated, and I don't know if it delaminated on the A2 that I put in the middle, and maybe that's the problem. I mean, is there an issue forge welding whatever chain is and A2? I don't know. And I tell you what, those of you that have done something like this, I want to learn. I mean, I have no intentions of turning around and doing this project again. I have so many things I got to get caught up on. I've let you guys down on so many other ways. But I will revisit this, and I certainly will revisit welding chain again. So leave comments. I may or may not reply because of everything that's going on. Focus. Yeah, that's freaking beautiful, isn't it? But This one here is Chandler needs to learn. I think it's a beautiful freaking knife. Too bad it's effed up. Make me an offer. Support the business. Who knows? Hey guys, thanks for all watching. Thanks for putting up with me over these last few months. Things are turning around. Things are going forward. Slowly, but going forward. And that's it. A failed Karambit. Karambit? I don't like fighting knives anyway. It's destiny, right? It's destiny. I mean, yeah, it's good to defend yourself, but you can defend yourself with a camp knife just as well and be able to chop wood and all that kind of stuff. And no offense to the knife people out there, but it just scares me sometimes to make weapons that are made specifically to cut people open. Only. Now I've offended you. I apologize. All right, I'm going to get the freak out of here this day. I should have stayed in bed. That's it. That's what I got for you. You know, it's beautiful. It looks beautiful, but hey, it's like a railroad spike knife, man. It's a great looking knife. Take care. We'll catch you in the next one. Hopefully it won't be so bad. Ciao.